In many of my activities, I provide visuals or printables, depending on what you'd like to call them. But getting them from the computer into your classroom might be something that you just aren't sure about what those steps are. So today I'm going to break them down and help you create visuals that you'll not only love, but they'll last forever. So first, let's just talk about why visuals are so important. One of the biggest things is they'll instantly engage your kids visually. Now, the reason why that's important is because what's the key word in that sentence? Engage. That's one of the biggest struggles teachers have. So we need to find ways to keep them engaged through their senses. So we've got them with the audio, we're constantly talking and singing, and then we bring in this visual component. Now we've got a two-pronged approach for keeping their attention. So not only is it going to keep their attention, when we keep their attention for a sustained amount of time, it actually locks in the learning. It's called retention. And let me tell you, when we have retention with what we're teaching kids, it means we don't have to teach it as often and they'll actually remember it. So what do you think about that deal? I think it's a pretty good deal. So let's head over and I'm going to show you how we're going to laminate all of the visuals, printables, whatever you want to call them, so they'll last forever. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to go through all of the different pieces that you're going to need in order to make your lamination a success. So the first thing you're going to need is, what do you know, laminating sheets. So those are things that I've got a link to, so you'll be able to find those down below. And these are just the laminating sheets that I get, and I buy them in a pack of 100. And they're the 9 by 11 and a half, and they're 3 milliliters thick. So 3 ml. That's going to be important in a minute because I'm going to show you how that's going to relate to the laminating machine that you choose to purchase. All right, next, some scissors. And then, of course, we need our laminator. Now, I use the Scotch. And I've got the link for you as well, so just take a look down below for that one, that link. This is one I've used, but honestly, I've had it forever. You're going to see that there's kind of some funny things with it that I've got to work around, but it's only because I've probably had this thing for 12 years. It's still available, and I would buy it again. I guess I'm just kind of waiting for it to completely go down, but it works really great. All right, and then the next thing is you're going to need is Velcro. This Velcro is... it comes in a, you know, I guess the female or the male or whatever you want to call it. We're just going to use the scratchy side. So if there's ever a time that anybody needs the soft side for the Velcro, just call me because I've got a lot of it. All right, the next thing you're going to need is a felt board. Oftentimes, all of these activities are going to work really well on your felt or flannel board. So whatever you want to call it, I'll give you a link to how to make my little portable one, but of course, many of you probably already have them in your classroom. So let's head over, start warming up the laminator, and we'll laminate the picture. Oh, and by the way, the picture, I'm gonna do turkeys today. Here we go. Okay, here we are at the laminator. It's all ready to roll. I've got the green light on. I've got it set to 3 mil. Remember, that is the thickness of our laminating sheets. So that's super important. Now the next step is you're going to need whatever it is that you're going to be laminating. Now the question is always, do you cut and then laminate, or do you laminate and then cut? You know what I say? Cut and then laminate. So I'm going to stop the video and cut out my turkeys and get them ready to laminate. Okay, I've got my turkeys cut. Now I have to admit, I kind of took the quick way and I cut just around the outside of them, leaving some white. Depending on the kind of time that you have on your hands, you may want to go through and intricately cut every single piece of white off. That's up to you. So the next step is you're going to lay your turkeys, in this case, into your laminating sheet. So I'm going to take my laminating sheet and I'm going to open it so that I can lay the turkeys down. Now this little thing does not want to open, so I have to really talk to it. Oh, come on, laminating sheet. Won't you open for me? And there it goes, it splits just like this. Now you can't see it, but off camera, I am preparing these turkeys by laying them in this laminating sheet. And I'll show you what my finished product looks like once I have that done. I'm making sure that there's enough space so that they'll be separated so they won't be touching each other. Okay, now, I don't know if you have a dog or cat, but sometimes little pieces of dog or cat hair can get stuck on the laminating sheet, so make sure that that's free of that. All right, so now it looks like this. You notice how I have them spread out. This is the edge that is connected, so that's going to be the edge that I'm going to put into my feeder here. Now you're going to get to see why my lovely laminator is probably on its last leg, because when I put this in, it's not going to take it unless I hold down this button. But for all of you with brand new ones or ones that are working well, you won't have to hold that button down. So I'm going to hold it down, and that's going to feed it into the laminator. Now remember, this might be super basic. You might have been laminating your whole life, and so in that case, you won't need to watch these steps. Now, Lisa Murphy often refers to the laminating ladies, laminator ladies, and I don't know, maybe am I one? Well, I like to think I'm not, because I'm going to take these laminated pictures and I'm going to make them super engaging. And so my kids are actively engaged in the experience rather than watching me. So now it's coming out the other end. I've got my turkeys rolling out. They are looking good. And once they come out, then I'm going to go to my next step, which is cutting out the turkeys. So if I'm only going to laminate that one sheet, I'm just going to turn it off. And I'm going to put it to the side. I've got my turkeys laminated and ready to go. Now I am going to add the Velcro onto the back. So again, back to my Velcro. I got this at Joann Fabrics, but there's also a link to some Velcro that you can get on Amazon as well. So I'm going to take that pokey side. It probably has a name, but I'm not sure. And I'm just going to cut 5 little pieces of it. I start by just cutting a long one, and then I'm going to cut this into 5 little pieces. And then I'm going to just stick these pieces on the back of each one. So I'm just going to go 1, and love how they stick to my scissors. 2, sit down, 3, and 4, and 5. All right, I got my 5 pieces. I'm just gonna take that sticky back off, put it on the back of my turkeys, get them all done up so they're ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've never caught a turkey alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know a turkey and her name is Jen. All right, so I've got all my turkeys done. Now, once I've got them done, I need a flannel board because that's where I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna grab my flannel board again so you guys can see what that looks like. And then I'll just take my flannel board, and I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 turkeys. And I'm ready for lots of fun turkey activities. All right, have fun making your visuals. They'll last forever. It's a little bit of a process, but you'll love it in the end.